Hey everybody, I'm back. It's another day, another walk. If you can't see, it is currently raining. Wipe that camera off. Right now it's a race against time to get this video done and get my steps in before it starts pouring, because I don't really want to get wet. I'm here in a new park, La Tourette Park here in Staten Island. There's a really interesting burned out car right here that I was looking at a second ago. So today, for my topic, is going to be drones, not legislation, not where the industry is. This is 5 tips for somebody getting into the hobby that will make it better, more fun, and really kind of help you get into it. So let's just dive right into it before we get wet. First and most important, start small. And for this, I mean start small with the drone. Don't go out there and go crazy, spend $1,000 on a brand new Phantom or Mavic Air, because when you're getting into it, you don't want to have any anxiety around crashing. And as a new pilot, especially when you're learning flight mechanics, you're gonna crash. There's a deer over there. Sorry. You're gonna crash, and it's better to crash an inexpensive drone that you don't really have any personal attachment to than if you were to crash something that you've spent a ton of hard-earned money on. Oh look, there's multiple deer. There's one deer laying down, one deer there. Oh look, there they go. Bye, deer. Okay, sorry. So yeah, basically, don't go crazy in your first investment. The best thing I can do is recommend going out and getting a simple, inexpensive, but still great drone. There's a company called Hubsan. They make excellent small drones from like $35 and up. Getting one of those, it'll give you all the flight mechanics and the experience of flying a drone. But if you crash it, it's only $35. And also, replacement rotors are super cheap, and replacement parts for the drone itself are super cheap. And they're a great platform to learn on. They're great for kids, great for adults. I've used mine indoors, I've used mine outdoors. I've crashed it hundreds of times. I've let tons of people fly it, and also have crashed it a bunch of times too. But it's a great little thing to have fun with, to learn your flight mechanics, and to get that first toe into the water with drones. I would highly recommend the Hubsan X4. It's the one I started with. But again, there's a ton of companies out there that make excellent small drones that are perfect for somebody new and wanting to learn about flying a drone. Number 2, don't be too ambitious with your flights out of the gate. To get some of the crazy shots, they require flying in conditions that may not be ideal, whether it's wind related, weather related, or technical flying, like through tight spaces. Don't go for that immediately, because you'll get frustrated and you'll have a bad time. Wow, that sounds cheesy, but start small. Start just flying around right close to you. Don't go too far away from you. Keep it within line of sight. Don't go too high. Fly in nice weather. These are just kind of guidelines or tips that I think will help you have a better time learning how to fly, learning the mechanics of flying, and getting used to how a drone operates. Because unlike a traditional airplane, when a drone is moving in the air, it always moves laterally. So like in a plane, when you come in for a turn, you bank and turn. In a drone, you just rotate. The drone, unless you're flying a racing quad or something like that, and even still, they really don't bank that much. The turning mechanics are different, the stopping mechanics are different. So getting used to how these things fly and getting used to flying them is extremely important, and will have a profound impact on you down the line. You'll have more fun. Just my recommendation. Number 3, find a friend. This is gonna, again, sound a little cheesy, a little weird, but I would highly recommend finding a friend, whether it's online or in person, as a newbie, who can give you guidance, answer your questions, help you out. Reddit's a great resource. DJI, which is one of the premier drone makers. They have a great resource through their forums. But again, get in there, talk to people, see what they have to say, ask your questions, because I'm sure you're not the first person to have these questions, and it'll give you a heads up, it'll give you a leg up, and it'll really make your enjoyment of the sport, hobby, or profession that much better. Number 4 is know the rules. It may not sound fun, it may be kind of a dull topic, but knowing where you can fly, when you can fly, and how you can fly will mean that you're going to avoid trouble, you're going to avoid causing yourself or others injury, and you're going to avoid damaging or losing your drone. Some of the rules are pretty easy, pretty obvious, like don't fly your drone at night. Don't fly your drone over people that aren't aware of what you're doing. Don't fly over sports stadiums. Don't fly near airports. These are kind of the obvious ones. There's a few other rules here in the States, like you're supposed to stay under 400 feet. You need to keep the drone within line of sight. These rules are really to help you and to keep everybody safe. I would highly recommend going to the FAA website here in the US. Each country that you visit, they have other rules, and for there, just search around online, you'll find them, I promise. And this goes especially if you're going to travel with a drone. Do your research ahead of time, because you don't want to get to an airport or get to a country and realize you can't use it, or worst case, it gets confiscated, which I've heard happen. Do your research beforehand. But here in the US, the best resource is going to be the FAA. Their website has a lot of information, but also the Before You Fly app. B as in Bravo, for the numeral 4, fly, Foxtrot, Lima, Yankee. That app, which is available on Android and iOS, includes no-fly zones. It includes all the hobbyist rules, and also includes information to help you plan flights and to safely fly. So that is by far the most important thing for a new hobbyist to understand and just know, because those rules are extremely important. Little bonus fact, each state and locality can also have their own rules. National and state parks have their own rules. Look ahead, especially when you're going to travel to somewhere and you're anticipating flying. Make sure that you can before you get your hopes up, and don't fly illegally, because that makes it more difficult for everybody and really reduces where we can fly, because people get frustrated, people get anxious, and then they just ban drones altogether. So don't do it. It's not fun. Yeah. And last of all, be patient. Don't get frustrated. What I mean by this is you're going to crash. You're going to lose drones. You're going to break propellers. It's just going to happen. If I had fingers enough for the number of propellers that I've broken, I don't think I'd have any space on my entire body. So when you're going out, and this is why I say start small, don't go crazy ambitious with flying, don't spend a ton of money on your first drone. These accidents happen. You've got to be prepared for them. And again, it's like with anything. If you're into auto racing, you break your car. Things happen. You can't really do anything about it. It's what it is. And so again, be patient. Don't get frustrated, because the more you do it, the better you get. And then you get things, you capture images, you capture moments that you could have never captured any other way. And you'll have so much fun flying your drone that you'll forget about those moments of loss, those moments where you crash, those moments where you feel embarrassed. It's not the end of the world. So again, my 5 tips for any newbie: start small with your drone. I'm gonna wipe your phone. Start again. So start small with your drone. Don't go crazy. Don't spend a ton of money on the first one, because you're gonna crash, and better to crash something that you are more comfortable crashing. Number 2, don't go crazy ambitious with where and how you're flying. Start small, get better, and then slowly progress your way up. 3, find friends, find a community. It'll make your experience with drones better, because you'll have knowledge, access to knowledge that you won't have as a beginner in the profession, hobby, sport, whatever you want to call it. Number 4, know the rules, especially when you're traveling and there's going to be a language barrier. Super important. Get the Before You Fly app if you're flying here in the US. Find local resources wherever you are outside the US and obey those rules because it's good for everybody. And number 5, don't get frustrated, don't give up, be patient, because the reward is totally worth the effort. It's totally worth the investment. I mean, I love it. It's one of my favorite things. If you have any questions about drones, please feel free to reach out to me here, reach out to me on Instagram. I just posted up some Tower Bridge pictures, as well as some drone pictures that I took yesterday while flying in the intro video. So with that, thank you guys for joining me on my walk. I'm gonna try to race, because as you can already see, I'm starting to get a little rained on. Right now I'm at 3,159 steps. I gotta finish up my walk as quickly as possible so I don't get completely soaked. Thank you again for joining me. I will catch you all later. Peace.
Life is a battle and stress is survival. Got it together so clever no one can sample.
There's 10,000 steps. Also, this is the model airfield here in Staten Island, and it's a great place to learn to fly drones if you want to. That's all. Last little update. Bye.